Skincare. It's something that's a huge part of every single one of our lives, every single day. Nowadays, many of us have a complex skincare routine thanks to the huge range of products available. And in a world dominated by social media, sometimes we don't even realise how much we're spending on our skin to fit in and feel less pressured, as we succumb to the promise of a flawless complexion at the click of a button. A This Morning survey has found that most people are strongly influenced by what they see on social media, with 87% using skincare products daily. For some, this means they've spent almost £4,000 on products before finding something suitable, and 30% admit this search has led to them using at least 5 different skincare brands, but 75% say they still purchase their products from trusty drugstores. So, are all these products worth the price tag they command, or is the way our skin performs purely down to our own genetics and nutrition? I went on a journey to find out. I began in Southampton. I wanted to investigate the work beauty parlours and their therapists do to help those with troubled skin, mainly those suffering with the way they look. Cheryl Howard owns a beauty salon in Shirley and believes that what you put onto your skin, whatever the price, will have huge benefits as long as it includes the right ingredients to nourish the skin. But she does say that everyone is different.
We offer a complete service here, so we don't just do treatments as such, we look at it as a skincare journey with our clients. So we would combine what we do in the salon, whether it be machines or hands-on facials, right through to their skincare routine. With makeup and products out there, some of them can actually be really bad for the skin, and you think you're covering it up, but it can actually be making it a lot worse. So we use a pharmaceutical grade product called Environ, which is based on retinol vitamin A, which I think is really important to I think it's the holy grail of skincare, but even that can vary because a lot of products say they've got that in it, but they've got such a tiny percentage of it, so that it's not actually making a difference. I think it's really confusing for people wanting to start to know which products they want to use. There is so much information out there that kind of contradicts itself, and you don't know. You can go into department stores, into shops, into salons, and we're all going to say, oh, what we believe is right. So I personally think, every client's individual. You have to look at all their different skin types and then assess it from there. We all are what we are. Our DNA is quite essential, but I think from the percentage that isn't there, the external aggravations can have a massive difference on the skin. There was a study with the twins, so their DNA is almost identical, so they're always useful for research purposes. And the only difference that the 2 twins had was one that smoked and one didn't, and the person that did smoke had such more problems in aging and lines with the skin compared to the twin that didn't. So you can see that it's not just about the genes, it is definitely all the external problems and pollution and everything that we can make a difference with the skin. I believe you shouldn't just go on what the price of a product is, because there can be very expensive products that I still think are just what I would call hope in a jar, so they're not necessarily going to do that much more for you. So I think you have to really look at the ingredients, but personally I think the more expensive, the higher quality of the ingredients tends to be.
After speaking to Cheryl, it's clear we're willing to pay for skincare products and treatments if it's going to improve our skin and help us feel more secure within our own bodies. But I've found that many of the key ingredients people pay a high price for can be found cheaper. Low-cost high street drugstores offer similar products with a smaller price tag, proving we can get the ingredients needed for good skin at affordable prices. But for some, accessible brands like these just don't work, and they have to go in search of less mainstream products online because they're the only ones that may help them.
Well, me and my mum combined have probably spent near on £7,000 over the years, trying to figure out ways of clearing it, like creams, face washes, treatments, needles, you name it. Like I've had needles in my face. I've washed my face about 5 times a day, scrubbed it, everything you're supposed to do, and it just never got better.
One account which stood out to me was blogger Toni Lumsden. From scrolling through Toni's page, it's obvious she's been on a huge journey with her skin, but has now found a confidence in it as well as the perfect products for her. I spoke to Toni via Skype all about her skin struggles.
I've had pretty awful skin for as long as I can remember. I've never really known a day that I haven't had bad skin, if you know what I mean. It's just kind of like I was kind of just born this way and that was that type thing. And now I use Clearly Basics, which is the only thing that has continued to work. Everything else worked or didn't work for about 3 months or so and then stopped working. So it's kind of like building up my hope and then just dropped it back down again. As I got older, it just kind of progressively got worse. So I had a course of vampire facials, which is basically where they take blood out of you and then put it back into your face. It's supposed to help. I mean, it didn't, obviously, but they're like £100 a go, and I think I had a course of about 12, so that's £1,200 there in one go. For me personally, I don't really think that money has anything to do with it. I mean, if you look at me, I've spent like £7,000 on all sorts of things. There are some cheaper things that actually I did think worked at the time but then stopped. So I think it depends from person to person, as in how your skin gets on with it, rather than how expensive it is or where it's from.
Toni now shares her own experience with over 1,000 followers on Instagram, hoping her own journey and struggle to find the right products will offer hope for those battling the same problem skin. But Kelly Uren is a nutritionist who believes that buying expensive products for our complexion isn't actually necessary.
So I've seen people, for example, with psoriasis, with eczema, acne problems, recently acne rosacea as well. As a naturopathic nutritional therapist, I would look at them as a whole and I would do quite a lot of information gathering. We'd go through a very intensive questionnaire and I'd find out what I feel is at the root cause of their symptoms. So the acne or the rosacea or the eczema to me is a symptom of something underlying within the body, and it could be the fact that the body's toxic and it's trying to push the toxins through the skin. It's unable to do that through the normal channels because something is not working as it should be, so it pushes them through the skin. That may manifest as acne or dry skin conditions, flaky skin, could be eczema. So it could be something with toxicity. It could be something with food intolerance. Could be something that's a hormonal imbalance. For instance, if somebody is displaying acne through the chin area, it may be that they've got an imbalance of the sex hormone production. Could be somebody with polycystic ovaries, things like that. So each person that you see, it could be the same symptom, if you like, but there may be an underlying cause that's very different to another person that you see. There's saying that we often say within this field that genetics load the gun, environment pulls the trigger. So if I had to put a percentage on it at a guess, I would say for the majority, it could be something like 10 to 20% of how our skin is appearing, because I also recognise in myself that I have similar features to my mum. When you come to talking about condition of skin, the health of the skin, whether your skin is luminous, things like that, I think that can be probably more towards what you eat, so about 70% of that. I know that sugar can cause inflammation in the body. When the body's in a state of inflammation, then this can show in the skin. So conditions like acne rosacea and eczema, they're all inflammatory conditions. And if you have a lot of sugar in your diet, whether that's sugar added to drinks and beverages or things like that, then this can exacerbate problems like that. Sugar also has a way of interfering with the hormonal balance in the body. So the more sugar we have, the more we can have an influence, probably negatively, with our hormone balance. That can then go on to affect your sex hormones, and this can lead to problems like estrogen dominance, which can then go on to create problems like polycystic ovaries, endometriosis, and all of this can have an effect on the skin. So if you're putting a lot of chemicals and things onto your skin, that's absorbed into your circulation, and I believe that's not great. So I think using natural products, I use essential oils, I make my own body lotions, and I just use skin oils. I don't spend a lot of money on my skin, not saying that mine's brilliant or anything like that, but I think what you put in, fueling your skin from the inside out probably is a great way to go.
My journey has revealed that good skin isn't just about a large price tag, but in fact more about what we eat and drink. Buying expensive products with the right contents in is worth it, but those vital ingredients can be found at most cheap drugstores. Our experts also believe that genetics must play a part too, and they all agree that ultimately every one of us can achieve the perfect complexion if we take as much care over what we put into our bodies as we do about what we put on it.